Today on Kump, we're talking about Jordan Peterson, Roald Dahl, and Taylor Swift. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Kump.
Hello.
Hello, Lucie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Do you like that intro I did?
I did.
It was a second take. The first take, I screamed at the end, "Keep in tuned."
Keep tuned.
No, keep in tuned.
I think you said keep tuned.
Whatever. Just peeling back the fourth wall here.
Yeah.
Sometimes
we have to do a second take.
Why'd I even redo it if I was going to tell everyone how I flubbed it?
That's Hollywood, baby.
It's the magic. Maybe I did it on purpose. I'm a monster. How are you?
I've been well.
You've been better.
I've been.
There's a little bit of a delay since the last episode because you got sick.
I fell ill.
God knows where you caught illnesses. The subways.
I probably caught it on the subway, but it also hit me on the side. There's a tendency with me to just, when I'm about in the world, like I won't know how sick I am until I'm riding the subway, and I'm just like, oh no.
I just picture you kind of like in a daydream while a homeless guy breathes into your mouth. And like, he's not, you're just kind of standing wherever you want and in the middle of some homeless guy's sphere of vision, sphere of influence.
Head in the clouds.
Yeah, and you're just listening to like the mamas and the papas on your iPhone.
Yeah. And
he's just breathing, just, E. coli or whatever.
I'm just thinking I'm going for a walk on a winter's day right now.
Yeah, and you're really getting this bubonic plague or whatever. So you were knocked out, and then you gave me the illness. It wasn't COVID. Are we allowed to mention COVID on YouTube, or are we going to get blacklisted?
You're not allowed to say that that you ever got sick with anything other than COVID on YouTube.
Interesting. Okay.
That's illegal now.
That's going to come up later. And I like that policy. I think it makes everything easier. Oh, my kid got leukemia. Whatever. It's COVID now.
COVID.
Your kid has COVID.
It's a comorbidity.
I have one leg. You have half a COVID. Welcome to the show. There's a lot going on this week. A lot of nuanced things.
Discourse.
Random events. A good friend of the show his work is under fire. Is it fair to say he's a friend of the show?
I think he would consider himself a friend.
I think he would if he could.
Yeah.
Mr. Roald Dahl, famously dead in the 90s. I think 1990. I don't think he even lived to see the Gulf War, let alone the Iraq War.
Yeah.
Or the other good wars we've had.
It's too bad. I would have loved to see his take on the Gulf War.
Abu Ghraib.
When I saw Abu Ghraib happen, I was like, I wish I had Roald Dahl right now.
It felt like Roald Dahl. I mean, did he really die, or did he go work for the CIA as a consultant? Did he design those pyramids of men?
It does seem like something that Miss Trunchbull would do in Matilda.
I never knew Matilda was a Roald Dahl IP.
Oh, it's a famous Roald Dahl.
That's the one where she's like a little rat who spies on her friends.
No, Matilda is about a precocious young lady who has terrible parents and a terrible principal.
Oh, I'm thinking of Harriet the Spy. Or is that called Harriet?
Harriet the Spy is like the anti-Matilda. Harriet the Spy was a real rat.
Yeah, Harriet the Rat.
Real pig of a girl.
Harriet the Stasi.
Yeah.
So Matilda is a book about a girl who hates her parents and she hits them with a bat.
Her parents are bad because
this is a different author. We'll get to that later. This is the one. What is? I know the girl from Mrs. Doubtfire was in the movie. I didn't see it.
Matilda is about a young girl who has excellent reading ability, but she also has little ESP powers or little like telepathic powers.
What?
But her parents are kind of like these.
So she's a witch.
Yeah, kind of.
It's like a sequel to The Witches, which she also wrote.
I'm pretty sure she has powers in it. And her parents are kind of these dishonest slobs.
Okay.
I think her dad like sells lemons or something.
Sounds like on the side of the highway. Lemons here.
Yeah, cars that are lemons.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a car salesman.
Yeah.
You can't just. I know it's a term, but I don't think you just say sells lemons.
And her mother's, a whore or something.
Wow.
But not for pay. And
so she's just like she's constantly comping her, or is she a prostitute who doesn't charge, like who forgets to charge money?
I think your mother's main crime is that she wears too much leopard print or something.
This seemed, look, I mean, here's the thing. This guy is out of his mind, or was.
Yeah, I know, he's crazy.
But regardless, I think he's a fine, companion for young people as they realize the fruits of the world. And people are trying to silence his dead voice.
What's cool about reading Roald Dahl as a kid is that he treats the adult world the way a kid kind of sees it. Like, right, it's just full of horrible people who are trying to make you do things you don't want to do.
I mean, he sounds like a stranger who tries to convince you your parents, your parents don't listen to your parents, listen to me. Which is weird, but I still don't think he should be censored. And yet, what is it, like 30 years after his death? That's exactly what is starting to come into fruition. Roald Dahl, his publisher, is trying to censor him. So there's a whole series of events have happened. So what happened? They came in, they were like, this Roald Dahl shit. It's too raunchy. Let's clear it. This is the guy who wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He wrote what else did he write? The Fantastic Mr. Fox.
James and the Giant Peach.
James Peach, the Giant. Did he write BFG?
I don't think he wrote BFG.
He might have.
He could have. I think he could have wrote.
He wrote E.T. I think he wrote a screenplay to E.T. Whatever. Anyway, so what's going on?
He wrote Nymphomaniac Part 2.
The Lars von Trier masterpiece.
Yeah,
I guess. And now he's so what? Now they're trying to. They've come in the what do you call the Hollywood of books?
The publishing industry?
Yes, the publishing industry said enough is enough. Who was his publisher, by the way?
This was Puffin.
Puffin.
Yeah.
So it's different than Penguin.
What's the relation? They truly are a bunch of. They're a bunch of puffs. Wait, is that an anti-gay thing?
In Britain.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that.
Are you sorry for me for that, or are you sorry for what do you think it meant?
In the second edition of this podcast, feel free to take that out.
Nice little reference to the. Yeah. What are they taking issue with? These Hollywood book people.
Well, their stated goal in this new edition that they were plotting
of all his books,
right?
Of his entire library.
Of a lot of his books, yeah. Was to make them more inclusive, more sensitive to all kinds of child readers.
Okay.
And so they changed a lot of stuff. I mean, this was definitely more than, like, I remember when I was in school, we read Huckleberry Finn.
Sure.
In freshman year of high school, I think.
The Mark Twain racist tirade. No, kidding.
And I remember the teacher actually, like, he wheeled out one of those big dirty televisions that they have in supply closets.
Dirty televisions?
In high school.
Are you writing a book now? So my teacher pulled out a big dirty television. My young heart beat with anticipation.
And he showed us like a little documentary about the debate over whether to take out the N-word in Huck Finn. And it was a good context. I think we actually read the uncensored version ultimately, but it was a good kind of introduction to, like, look, there's a debate about this.
Right.
This is something we think
and
about.
I don't care.
Yeah. Like
I'm going to keep saying it. People say I shouldn't be allowed to say this. Well, I said no.
But, like, even though I was kind of like a renegade,
right,
and I just didn't like the idea of censoring anything, like, I kind of got that. Like, I was like, I kind of see what the utility is in not making, like, a black kid read the N-word just like every other word for 300 pages.
Yeah, maybe just don't teach it in school. It's like, look, Huck Finn's fine, but it's not necessary reading for school. Don't make kids read it. You think it is?
It is kind of a classic, though.
But there's a lot of classics. You don't read every classic in school.
That's true.
I mean, here's the thing. Oh, we're never going to teach it. We should change it. How about you just don't teach this one, and you leave it alone?
Maybe. Yeah.
You don't need. If some kid wants to read Huck Finn, let him read Huck Finn.
Sure.
And you don't need some freaking weird guy who drives a Toyota Corolla, 1996 Toyota Corolla, explaining the social ramifications to him. Just let him read the book, and that way you don't have to change people's stuff.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but it has to be an itinerary.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. But this is like way different than that. This was like huge paragraphs that were changed.
Well, let's get to some examples because people might be confused because you read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and there's not a lot of Nazis in it.
Right.
There's not. I don't remember a lot of race riots in the middle of the giant Peach Boy. So what is this? Let's see what we got here.
So go to the next one. These are the 6 most glaring edits in the books, according to The Independent. So this is one that's kind of odd. This was a change that was made to Matilda, where they swapped references to the authors, right? Matilda is a voracious reader in the book.
Sure.
And they
just a random kid who has ESP and reads. Or whatever.
The original version of Matilda stated, quote, "She went on olden days sailing ships with Joseph Conrad. She went to Africa with Ernest Hemingway and to India with Rudyard, how do you pronounce that?
Rudyard Kipling.
Rudyard Kipling, yeah. In the new edition says, quote, "She went to 19th century estates with Jane Austen. She went to Africa with Ernest Hemingway," kept that one, "and California with John Steinbeck."
Wait, hold on. So this is actually a change. Okay, so they took issue with the fact that, like, I guess he's trying to say, she's reading these books and she went there, and they're taking issue with what? She went olden day sailing ships. I mean, the only thing is I can see there's not enough women.
Well, it's like the woman thing. I still think it's stupid, but I see the purpose of it. Like, but they kept Africa with Ernest Hemingway and then just changed Kipling to Steinbeck, which doesn't seem to accomplish anything other than that, like, the politics of the Grapes of Wrath is a little bit different, probably, than, like, Kipling's work.
Is it because
it's still a white guy?
I guess the idea, are they trying to, because Rudyard Kipling's the guy who wrote, like, with that book, was it Raj or whatever, or Kim, about the British Raj? He was like I think he was like a British imperialist, maybe. I forget if he was pro Britain or not.
Yeah, but it's like
why is Rudyard Kipling teaching us about India? I don't know. He wrote the book.
Yeah, and it's like, so we're saying Ernest Hemingway didn't have any strange views about anything.
Ernest Hemingway is the biggest piece of garbage I ever encountered in my reading life. Just a fraud, in my opinion. Just a bore, and just an awful person. But whatever.
But this is a good place to introduce the changes, because that's a theme in these changes. Like, not only do they change the words of the book significantly and, like, make them less entertaining and worse, but, like, a lot of them, they're not even necessarily more sensitive.
Oh, here we go, because this is right there. Both Conrad and Kipling have been accused of racism and reappraisals of their work. So why so they get wiped out, but Roald Dahl, like, why isn't Matilda then racist? Why aren't we reconciling with the fact that Matilda is a dirty little racist who enjoys the works of other racists?
Yeah.
If Conrad's and Joseph Conrad's the guy who wrote Heart of Darkness, which is what they base Apocalypse Now on, amongst other things, and he wrote the other things, I guess. But he's a racist. And Matilda is his comrade in arms. Yeah. She's probably reading Conrad going, yeah, let's go on a boat into the middle of the Amazon. Was that where they went? and just start killing. I don't know. This is so dumb.
That would be great. I mean, honestly, that might redeem the role of the sensitivity reader if instead of making changes to just like soften everything, they just made changes to make beloved characters horribly bigoted.
Yeah. Just like bring it to the surface.
Yeah.
Matilda, racist as she was, loved Joseph Conrad. Heart of Darkness, her too.
So this is an interesting one.
Is this Roald Dahl here with his little dogs?
Aw, look at that. He does look like a real creep here.
I mean, there's an ad of with Greta Thunberg's face. It kind of looks like, he looks like Greta Thunberg, kind of.
A little bit, yeah.
You know? Weird. Is she the reincarnated Roald Dahl?
Maybe.
Was she born the same day that he died? Imagine that.
If she hadn't been sucked into the climate activist lifestyle, she
oh, okay. I thought you were saying something else.
she would be writing great children's books right now.
Sure, I guess. While in Dahl's original version of The Witches, women were described as being supernatural supermarket cashiers or read that.
While in Dahl's original version of The Witches, women were described as being supermarket cashiers or letter writers for businessmen. In the new edition, women are top scientists or business owners themselves.
Which women? The witches?
So I'm trying.
These witches were in STEM. So it's very important to understand. Look, they might want to kill children, but they're real good at math.
Yeah, so that quote was crazy because this is a quote where the grandmother is describing the conspiracy of the witches, right? Like that it's like they're all over the place. They're establishing this hidden world. Yeah. Where some women are witches. Right. And it was like...
Some women are bitches.
Some women just bitches, some women are witches. but that's one of the crazier changes to me. Because, like, how is it less sexist to say that a successful businesswoman is a witch than to say a letter writer is a witch? Like, if anything, the former is just, like, kind of establishing the secret world. It's all around you. The latter is actually kind of, like, plays into a cabal of feminists.
Also, what kind of a literate buffoon is rewriting this book saying they're top scientists?
You're right.
Top gun scientists. This is idiotic.
They're firefighter pilots.
Goddamn. Lucinda was the goddamn best microbiologist in all of Britain, but she also murdered children with poisoned chocolate, turned them into rats. Nice.
I mean, this is just like I don't know if I could even say like this is like all just PC culture. I feel like this is just people who have kind of, they can't hack it as writers, but they've kind of snuck into this weird role in the industry where they can put on their resume like, I rewrote the work of a great author. I rewrote Roald Dahl's books.
The role of most social justice at the end of the day, it's unfortunate. It hasn't always been the case. But in the current world, I feel like the role of most quote-unquote woke, whatever you want to call it, all these movements, is for mediocre people to get weird jobs.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Hey, can you just make a job for my niece? Yeah. Like, can you just figure something out?
It has nothing to do with these are legitimate causes a lot of the time. Whatever, but it's just some guy, some random guy you went to school with is now like rewriting the Grapes of Wrath or something. Right. It's like, what? We're taking all the references to grapes. Grapes are racist now.
On what grounds are you writing Grapes of Wrath? Are you rewriting this book? I'm bisexual. Yeah. Okay. What? How are you rewriting Grapes of Wrath based on you being bisexual? At some point in the book now, there's somebody's bisexual.
Yeah. They needed someone who was bisexual, so they got me. I got it. I'm a shoo-in.
Gary and I went to Harvard together.
Who's Gary?
I don't know, just like the
Gary Rath?
The publishing guy.
Oh, okay. The Hollywood publisher?
The Hollywood publisher.
Anyway. Okay, so what else we got? What other changes? Electrocution? What does it say?
Oh, wow. This is a dark one. Electrocution turns into...
erection? Oh, ejection. Okay.
Electrocution turns into ejection. In George's Marvelous Medicine, Dahl had written, "It was exactly as though someone had pushed an electric wire through the underneath of her chair and switched on the current." Unquote. All right, so that's visceral.
Right, but it's also not necessarily like the electric chair.
Yeah, it's not. It's not supposed to be the. How could you ever confuse this with the electric chair?
Well, it's a little similar.
I mean, but it's like.
I won't go that far. So a bullet went right through her head. How can you say she was shot?
Well, it's like it's clearly a little zap.
Yeah, it's a zap. It's an electric chair that's turned down to 2.
It's a little bit different than a dry sponge being put on your head and your skull gets burnt off.
Sure.
The new version says, quote, "It was as though someone had switched her chair with a fighter jet seat and pressed the eject button." This is just worse writing.
This is just people who like otherwise would have been like, I don't know. Like, here's like all the people who wrote for stupid magazines are gone now. I feel like most magazines are gone. There used to be tons of people who just write for bad magazines, like like Glamour.
Right.
The lady who wrote for all these women who wrote for Glamour are now rewriting great works. This is they would have been doing a little blurb about Harry Styles, and now they're just like editing the Bible.
Right.
For racism.
Yeah.
What's this? No more fat phobia. Well, about time.
A passage in James and the Giant Peach used to say, quote, "Aunt Sponge was terrifically fat and tremendously flabby at that. Her tummy and waist were as spongy as paste. It was worst on the place where she sat."
Because she's shitting a lot of chairs.
Yeah.
Like big dumps.
Just sweaty shits.
Just leaving slug trails behind.
Yeah. Now it reads, "Aunt Sponge was a nasty old brute and deserved to be squashed by the fruit. We all felt a big bump when we dropped with a thump. We left Aunt Sponge behind us but you needn't remind us that we shouldn't feel rotten, for we haven't forgotten how spiteful she could be."
This is terrible.
This is absolutely atrocious, and also not more sensitive.
No, I don't even know what the hell they're talking about.
Not more sensitive to wish for the painful death of someone.
And Sponge had a gunt. A bit of a and all of the children were dainty. Some shit their pants. Her husband had no romance and committed suicide in the park. There you go. That's my new one.
It's beautiful, right?
Thank you. That's for the peach, the peach book. So, where did this even come from? Because honestly, Roald Dahl has not even been that much in the media. Why is this even like? I mean, I guess his books sell a lot.
Yeah, and I think that
still under the radar, because all those movies got made, right?
Right.
In the 90s and the 2000s, the Fox movie and the Peach movie and they made new Witches a year ago, right?
Yeah, they made a remake of
with
the Witches.
Anne Hathaway.
Oh, was she in it?
I think. I don't know. I picture her. I can see her killing kids. Anyway, so what are the people pushing back?
Yeah, there was a lot of pushback, and they actually ended up sort of trying to offer a compromise. Roald Dahl publisher bends to controversy will release classic version of controversial kids books.
So this is like Star Wars now. This is basically like you can also buy the original version, but I want my stupid Wookiees, digital Wookiees, same thing, right? So now you can, but is it gonna? What's it gonna be called? Like the racist version?
Racist remix.
I mean, how are they gonna market these? Like what is it gonna like? How you gonna have two Roald Dahls next to each other, two peach books, two giant peaches? What's one gonna be called? The sensitive edition?
I guess one will just be like the newest edition, 15th edition or whatever.
No, it can't be. It'll have to have some disclaimer, like warning includes this. Like the old one will say warning includes offensive language. And people
James of the Giant Peach, parentheses, the one where they call that bitch fat.
She got a stank.
What do they call that? Stank bitch fat.
I mean, people often, I think it's a lazy analogy, but people often on Twitter, when something like this comes up, will say something to the effect of, like, well, we're worrying about this. This is why China's going to kill our soldiers.
Right.
Which, well, like, it's because their kids are too sensitive. We're raising these kids too sensitive. Mm-hmm. Do you think they're starting to have a point?
Well, look, it's just a weird, I don't think you have to take that leap that, like, we're
how do you,
our military now doesn't matter because people are reading.
But if you can't handle a fat woman, leaving a little, streak on a park bench,
sure,
when she sits, and processing that in your young brain, how are you going to bayonet another young man in the face when you have to years later? You know how hard it is to bayonet a man in the face. I mean, you think, like, oh, it's like no big deal. No, this is a guy who's coming at you, and like he's too close to shoot, I guess. I'm not sure how war works, and you have to shove this knife on the end of your gun into his face. Maybe it's hard. I don't know. But like, if you can't handle a giant peach, how are you going to do that?
Do you think there's going to be a lot of like hand-to-hand bayonet fighting in our war with China?
Well, no, hand-to-hand would be hand-to-hand. This is with a gun. This is when you use your gun.
Well,
you mean melee?
Intimate fighting like that.
Maybe. Well, I mean, yeah. Possibly. If we, I don't know how war with China. Again, I'm not the Pentagon. But I know they still sometimes have bayonets in their guns. Maybe it's just decorations now. But I mean, I gotta imagine that's part of it. When if you're too sensitive, or how are you gonna throw white phosphorus, which is a war crime, at a village? If you throw the witches with a little too much.
The thing is, I'm not totally convinced that this kind of stuff doesn't make it easier to do that. Doesn't make it easier to indoctrinate people into throwing the white phosphorus.
Tell me why.
Which is a bad thing in my opinion. But
sure.
Like, I think this idea when the purity culture of like, the black and white feelings of like some words are just bad and some words aren't, and some like books are bad and some aren't. Like, it's like that black and white thinking, I think, actually feeds very well into like militaristic. Like,
they'll be like, well, Chinese people are bad. They'll say, yeah. Like, Chinese people are rolled.
I mean, look at how easily people were just got on board with like super strong anti-Russian sentiment, like on the left.
Well, like, they didn't invade the country.
Look, I'm not saying it's unjustified.
Are you saying that are you throwing Ukraine under the bus here?
No.
I still stand with the Ukraine, the breadbasket of Europe.
Oh God, where's my flag? Where's my Ukraine flag?
No, but yeah, so you're basically like, they'll basically come out and be like, here's the deal. China, they're Roald Dahl now.
Right.
You get the drift?
Exactly. Yeah, China's
Remember Roald Dahl? How that's China now. So now we got to do this. Remember how we gave him his comeuppance? Now it's China's turn.
China doesn't think that you can be healthy at any size.
Right.
China doesn't think Lizzo is a goddess.
I hope we don't go to war with. People keep saying we're going to war with China. I don't know. It seems like you don't want to go.
It does seem like people want it.
I say we start giving them stuff now. Here, you guys want some, what do we have to give them? Magic the Gathering cards? With some NBA jerseys? Give them stuff. People, we appease him. Like, I think if you appease China, though, it could work out. We can give them, like, fruit baskets. What else do we have? Fat
Everybody
kids.
likes a fruit basket.
Everyone likes a fat kid. Give them some fat kids. Why don't we just get them fat?
Yeah, there's got to be a way to make China fat.
They look. They'll probably do another opium war, because that's what the opium war was about. Like, the British were giving them opium, and eventually they're like, oh, no, you're getting everyone too high. Get out of here.
They'll start a war because we're making them too fat.
Yeah, no, I think they will. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they would be like, stop. Hey, we got extra Big Macs. You want some? They'd be like, cut the shit. We know what this is.
You're not opening us up again.
Right. Oh, we said. Oh, I thought you meant like opening. They tried to open us up, but we were too timid. Anyway, I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
I don't know.
So is that Anything more? Is there any more of this Roald Dahl? Or should we move on?
Well, there's like this other thing. I mean, if you wanted to get another angle on the sensitivity reader thing, there is this lady who published an op-ed. I thought it was kind of interesting. It was about this memoir she wrote.
How sensitivity readers corrupt literature, it's called. It's this woman. Okay, tell us about it. Read this to us.
What did the sensitivity readers say? This woman's British, which is going to be
a problem.
Clear in a moment.
Yeah.
And did I care? Of all the aspects of the recent attempt to cancel my work, the one that seemed to fascinate most people is the moment when my publishers sent my Orwell Prize-winning memoir, Some Kids I Taught and What They Taught Me, to be assessed by experts who would detect and reform its problematic racism and ableism.
All right. Problem one I have with this. A kid should never teach you anything. Especially if you're a teacher. Like, oh, a kid taught me. I learned nothing from children and I never will. And I'm not ashamed of that. I think that's, like, if you're learning from a child, there's a problem there. I mean, they know very little. I mean,
I don't think she's saying that the kids taught her basic math.
I guess they could teach you how to hopscotch, perhaps. Or like the new, the Dougie. Is that a new dance? Am I dating myself a little bit?
The Dougie.
Wasn't that a dance for a while?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a dance?
They can teach you. Yeah, I think it's a dance.
The dab?
They can teach you Gangnam Style. Whatever. Those you can learn those things. I guess is that the book? They taught me Gangnam Style. Right? I mean, you do the dance with the horse. No, but this woman is, I suspect they're teaching her life lessons. Which is atrocious to me.
You're suspicious of her?
Yes.
Her narrative?
Stupid red glasses.
Of course I cared. I'm horrified that people found prejudice and cruelty in my book, and I went into the process willingly. I've always enjoyed and benefited from editing and saw this as an extension. I did an initial rewrite. There were many things I was eager to change in the autumn of 2021 and sent it off full of interest and optimism. I received the reports on it before Christmas. They were never formally used, and I share the content here, anonymously, of course, because sensitivity readers are being used more and more widely. And
just get to the goods. Get to what they censored.
Okay.
She's tedious. A tedious bore.
Okay. Their scopes vary. One reader fusspots around single words. I should not use disfigure to describe a landscape in fraction level 3, as presumably comparing brings comparing Bings to boils might be harmful to acne sufferers.
What? No, look, I mean, clearly these people are out of their minds.
Yeah.
This is the problem. She's just a bad vessel, in my opinion, but we'll get to that in a second. But, like, no, but so basically she wrote this figure of a landscape, but that's a problem because there's people who have disfigured genitals.
Yeah.
For instance.
Which is weirdly
someone who got in a car accident and their genitals were crushed.
Yeah.
Will be offended.
Or acne, which is
acne's not a disfigurement,
right? That's like weirdly offensive in its own right. Like It's like acne isn't a disfigurement. Right. Like it's just something people get.
Yeah, it's like well, that's a disfigure. That's offensive to people with large noses. Like what? Anyway,
nor should I use handicap in its ordinary sense of impede. Blah blah. So there's a bunch of things like that, and then. Okay. So she talks about the memoir a little bit. The setting is London, 1992. After end-of-term drinks, a favorite student, Liam, comes out to me and then asks me to take him to gay.
Take him to gay? Take me to gay. Can you take me? Look, I am not. The entire education system here is at fault. I mean, this is he's coming out to her. Can you take me to gay? Well, gay's not a place. Gay is a way of life, I guess, or an orientation at least.
I would like to go to gay.
But
I guess that this is a gay bar that uses an acronym.
Oh, it actually is called gay.
Yeah, it's a little on the nose.
Yeah, that's a little. But I feel like it's just some guy who had a pub that watched football or whatever.
Right.
just trying to get in on the whole George Michael thing or whatever. Maybe we'll be a gay club. Let's call it gay. So what happens? So Is she homosexual?
I don't think so.
So
But maybe she is.
I don't believe this for a second. The kid asked her to take it. Why? Why is this happening?
Because I guess he trusts her.
After end of term drinks. Oh, wait, he's like 18.
Yeah.
All right. Still odd. It's a guy. So a guy is asking his like older teacher to take him to a gay club?
Well, like she says, actually, I was very worried about doing this at the time, even though Liam had just left school. I still felt like his teacher, and I worry even more now when teachers no longer take 18-year-olds to the pub and are much more aware of influence and consent. None of the sensitive issues, though, raised at length in the book worry the readers. They are concerned, rather, that I might be boasting about helping a young gay person. Quote, straight white savior trope, suggests word search list. Quote, could be problematic. They set up a chorus about what I feel and say after Liam hits the dance floor. And I note, okay, so he was, this is a quote from her memoir. He was too young to understand you only got one. Fortunately, it was only 20 minutes or so before he came back out of the crowd and grasped his beer. Liam, I said, I love you. You have to promise me to always use a condom and never get AIDS.
Okay.
What? What?
Here's the problem.
What?
Is it white savior trope? I mean, that shouldn't be something you should censor, right? I don't know. I'm not gonna get but she is a maniac.
Do you think this woman's weird?
This kid came after her, presumably for the first person he ever came after her. Within 20 minutes, she has him in a gay club, screaming at him not to get AIDS. This is traumatic. I know the AIDS crisis was bigger back then, but still, I think I'm gay. That's great. Don't ever get AIDS.
Yeah. 20 minutes later, she's just blackout drunk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's sloppy. She's just got like 6, whatever, Pilsners. What do they call them over there? and then she's just like, she has a few Guinnesses.
Yeah, she's got about 6 stouts.
Yeah.
In her.
So, I just don't. I'm so proud you don't ever get AIDS. And like everyone's looking at her.
Right.
He's like, all right, yeah, well, don't. It's just like this is how you treat gay people. You scream at them not to get AIDS. And like, who is she saving? White savior. This is horrendous. This is the epitome of like. Pick the people you put in your, sometimes when you're fighting a cause, you have to be selective.
Right.
I feel like the civil rights movement used to be like, good, no, we're going to pick, they picked Rosa Parks, right?
Yeah.
They pick people, like, you're good. If you're fighting censorship, don't pick this woman. Like, so I was yelling, they didn't let me yell at a gay kid. All right, well, maybe you have your points, but maybe you're not the spokesperson for us. We'll write an article next year about you. We'll call you. Give us we have your number. Anyway, so this is what a buffoon.
Yeah. So you don't think this is the best argument?
And she got a what do you call it? An oral prize.
Yes.
Books. I feel like most books are useless. If this idiot's getting an Orwell Prize, how do we need more books?
You don't think we need more books?
I mean, not if this idiot's winning prizes. I won an Orwell Prize, and they wouldn't let me scream AIDS in a gay club. What
do you think was a reasonable what do you think was a good year to stop making books?
I don't know, like 1978. What year did Jaws come out? That was a good book. No, I don't know. It's just we just need less of them. I mean, it's just it's most books now are like Prince Harry.
Oh right.
My brother gave me a wedgie once, and now I want to torpedo the monarchy.
Right.
Like enough.
Apparently he part of that memoir was that he sold out some woman who he lost his virginity to, it's some girl who's a year older than him.
Sold her out to what, like human traffickers?
Well, the British press is ruthless. They'll actually hunt a person down based on small details, and he said she was an older woman who like they used him for his prowess or whatever. It was just some
prowess.
It was just some girl who like was a year older than him.
They used him for his prowess.
Yeah, like like an older woman, like he's almost like a succubus or something.
But what does he have? Freckles?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I doubt it's.
What does he have to give an older lover?
Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, what does any younger lover have to give an older lover?
Strong back.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe that was it.
Well, speaking of books, look, here's the other side of it. Well, look, this is a book that. What's the matter?
What made you? I told you about this book.
You told me about this book, and I immediately ordered it off Amazon. It sounds amazing. It is in its own way amazing, and it's a book. Here's the thing: I don't see this getting the Orwell Prize or any prize. No one seems to review. It shouldn't
get the Orwell Prize. It's terrible.
No one reviews it. No one talks about it. It's written by a good friend of the show. We've never met. He doesn't know we exist, I think. But I consider him a friend. Dr. Jordan Peterson, the author of such tomes as 12 Rules for Life and 12 Other Rules for Life and 12 More Things that I forgot about, perhaps. I don't know. This is the ABCs of Childhood Tragedy, Volume 1. Now, I just realized it's Volume 1. But it's so basically the format, and we're not gonna show the whole book or anything because we don't want to damage Mr. Peterson's business of selling books. But it's illustrated. You can see. We'll show you vaguely the illustrated book. But it's like E, F, G. It's the ABCs.
ABC is.
So how are you gonna have multiple volumes? You've covered all the letters.
That's true. You know what? That's a very good point. He did cover all the letters.
He just really wanted the publisher's like, let's keep it an open mind.
And it's also not really a volume. Like, this is not a volume's worth of material.
Well, what's a volume? How do you define volume?
Usually when I think of a volume, I think of something that it's like, it's packed. It's dense with content. Like, it's like you couldn't have stuffed another page into this. So there's going to need to be a volume too.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, it's like...
Perhaps. Or perhaps... Look, I mean, can we... Well, we have a video, right, of him reading. We'll let Jordan Peterson tell us in his own words. But I have the book. I've read it. I can verify it's a book. When I say that we don't need more books, I'm not including this. I'm not including this book. I think we need this book.
Right.
So is this the clip where he's reading?
He's reading a poem. So all of these poems are about little, like, dark chapters in children's lives.
Is it queued up to the right part, or is that?
Yes,
okay.
I think so.
Okay.
F. Frederick was sadly flawed after he was madly pawed by his neighbor, deeply awed. Where the hell was Christian God? Yeah, so these are a bit...
All right, so basically that's it. So... should we go back? Well, let's go back.
Where the hell pawed? Frederick was sadly flawed after he was madly pawed.
Okay, so basically that's a common motif in this book. A lot of molestation.
There's a lot of molestation.
It's the ABCs of child. So is there even you know what's interesting about this? It's a book that has a lot of molestation, a lot of abuse, a lot of and there isn't even a thing on the back that describes what this is. Where would you eat? Like,
the publisher wants you to go into this cold.
There's there's nothing on the inside. As you've never seen it, childhood. That's the only. that's the only thing we have here. If you've never seen it, childhood. But there's no indication. Like, this is a book where we use the letters of the alphabet to describe various crimes against children. Nothing to that effect.
Various stripes of molestation.
Right, or drunken abuse.
Yeah.
Things like, it's not all that. It's not all.
No, this would be this would have been a great opportunity for a prologue of just like, he's a psychologist.
Right.
So saying like why he wrote this book.
Dr. Jordan, right on the back here, you could have written like Dr. Jordan Peterson, author of 12 Rules for Life, takes this opportunity to give, use this to teach your kids or to cope with your own childhood or just to laugh at abused children, whatever the goal is. But there is nothing. This is one of the most crazy books I've ever seen, and there is nothing to describe it.
Right.
There's no indication of what this is. I guess the publisher assumed, like, well, if we put what this is, no one will pick it up. Who in their right mind? I mean,
there are several, like you said, or to just laugh at kids getting abused, but like you're only kind of half kidding there. Like there are like poems where it just seems like, well, it just kind of seems like you're shitting all over an abused kid you made up.
Do you remember which one it was? We'll read one maybe. Was he read more? Let's go back to Mr. Peterson. So, you know, he can illustrate more of this.
Wait, no. There's not more there.
He only reads the one?
What?
He only reads the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows that. Like, I don't want to. I'll cross a lot of lines, but I'm not gonna. I don't mess with the guy's business.
By the way, the way I heard about this book was from this video. It's actually pretty good if you want to check it out. It's this guy Jose on YouTube. He did a video essay reviewing this book, like in more detail. He does a really good job. It's a crazy fucking book, but like
I like it.
Yeah, but it's yeah, it's just. It's mysterious. Like, what is the?
I mean, the illustrations you can see are very off-putting.
Yeah.
It's. Oh, here we go. About the author. Look at this. I can show this, right? This is fine. This is not hurting the business. This is Jordan. This is an illustration of Jordan Peterson about the author, and his illustrator. Dr. Jordan Peterson is the author. Is the author of the best-selling 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos, Beyond Order, 12 more. Oh, that's the first one. Then's Beyond Order, 12 More Rules for Life, and Maps of Meaning, The Architecture of Belief. He currently resides, again, but this doesn't tell you anything about this book.
Nothing.
The illustrator is Juliette Fougras, a fine art painter and graphic artist. She was the illustrator of Dr. Peterson's Beyond Order, 12 More Rules for Life. She was born in Riga, Latvia. Interesting. So she draws all these very disturbing children. And she won a contest, right, to get into this?
Yeah, something like that. And
what?
I mean, there's literally just like this. It's like a parody of a bad story. Some of these, like,
well, don't read it because he read one. I don't want to give away the story here. We're not BitTorrent. You know, people get the idea.
Well, there's this one. I'll just summarize what it is.
Okay.
It's just this girl who the whole.
There's only 26 of these, and they're 4 lines each. There's not that much book.
I'll summarize it even more. A little girl gets abused, she cries, and then she dies, and everybody's happy. Like, it's like, you know, like that's kind of like the vibe of it.
It feels like it's supposed to be like, it's like Shel Silverstein or something. Right? He wrote it like Where the Wild with Sidewalk Ends.
Don't bring him into this.
Why?
Don't bring it. It's one of the most beautiful children authors ever written.
That guy was a weird ghoul too, wasn't he? Shel Silverstein?
He was so funny. His rhymes were so good.
Say one line. Shel Silverstein. You can't.
I can't because I'm not. I can't just conjure them up. They're too
but
complex.
Shakespeare, on the other hand, I'll say a line from Shakespeare. Much ado about nothing.
That's the title of a
whatever.
play.
I remember it. So we have
and it truly was Much Ado About Nothing.
One Crazy Summer. So this is his illustrator here.
This just gets darker and darker.
What is it?
Jordan, look at the eyes. Doesn't it remind you of anybody?
Oh, so she's showing him a painting?
This is some pictures she drew of Saint Anthony
She's
being tortured by demons.
Okay, interesting.
Who is it?
That's you.
He doesn't seem happy about it.
He seems overwhelmed by it. The
right.
comparison.
Well, he's gotten very emotional.
Even Peterson looks a little uncomfortable during that, and it seems strange.
Yeah.
Strange to be partnering with an artist who is so
Here, pause it.
Okay.
Check out his video essay.
Watch this guy's video essay.
But like, it's like, but yeah, I don't know. This is a weird book.
So look, I'm starting the Kump Book Club, and
no,
this is the first entry in the Kump Book Club is an ABC of childhood tragedy. It's not the ABCs of. I just realized I thought it was the ABCs of childhood tragedy. It's an ABC
strategy.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. I thought it was called The ABCs of Childhood Tragedy, Volume 1. But it's actually called An ABC of Childhood Tragedy, which I guess means the same thing. It seems like an odder way to say it. But I want to be clear. I don't want people getting confused. That's the title of the book, and it's the first book in the Kump book club. Can we get a sticker made?
I'm not happy about this.
Why? I mean, I think, don't you think this is a useful tool for parents who abuse their kids to give to their children?
See, this is normal.
Yeah. See, Mr. Dr. Peterson, all these other kids are fine. Look at the pictures. I don't know. If you had to choose between a world where this book existed or didn't exist, aren't you happy it exists?
Didn't exist.
I say the former.
No, and by the way, George said, yeah, I'm not saying burn it. I'm not saying put it in a trash can.
Right.
But yes, just a different book, maybe a different version of it.
What bothers you about this book?
It's just bad. It's lazy. All the rhymes are lazy. They're incomplete stories that have no human feeling to them.
I think they're charming.
It's cheap shock value.
Dr. Peterson,
it's not apparently for anyone. It's not for kids.
I don't think it's for kids.
If it's for adults, that's fucking weird.
Well,
it's who is this for?
It's for adults to murmur to each other about abused children, and I think that's a useful thing. I mean,
why? Why is that useful?
Because when you're at a cocktail party, you need things to discuss, and I think abused children should come up at cocktail parties, and this is a great way to get into it. So then it raises awareness. Now, it may not do anything about it, but I think it just brings it to the surface. I think enough kids get abused in this country that someone bringing it to the surface, even if they're not necessarily
This isn't bringing it to the surface. This isn't increasing anyone's understanding of why people are abused or what happens to them. This is just showboating.
Well, it's not only because
it's showboating. Look at the half-baked images of misery I can conjure up in my diseased brain.
Here's why I disagree, and I slightly agree. I disagree because it doesn't need to. It just needs to put it into the conversation, right? Now, here's where I do agree. No one seems to have read the book. So it's not working on that level. We couldn't find a single review besides this, YouTube one. And some stuff on Amazon, Amazon reviews.
Right.
Well, how many stars do you have on Amazon?
Not sure. Probably a lot.
Yeah, Amazon reviews don't make any sense.
Look.
You can pick the next book, in the Kump book club if you want.
I can.
Maybe.
Okay.
As long as it's a good book. As long as it's as good as this book.
I pick.
Well, no, wait. Just don't give it away now.
But
Oprah didn't just read a list off and rattle it off. All right, we got the James Gunn book, whatever his name was, and the James Fry, and then we got what's another one? Well, what's some Oprah books?
I don't know.
It was Infinite Jest an Oprah book?
No, Infinite Jest wouldn't have been on there, but maybe We're the Crawdads.
We got We're the Crawdads. We got James Fry. We got you gotta learn showmanship. You parse these things out.
Technically, the first Kump book club book should be my Civil War dump book.
Well, that could be number 2. I want when we have our live event with Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson, we have a live reading. I want to be able to tell him that this is the first book in the Kump book club.
If it seems like I'm being harsh on Dr. Jordan Peterson with this book,
yes, I think you are.
Well, look. This is volume 1.
Yeah.
I think volume 2 could be better.
Well, I think
you need harsh critics like me who will cut something down so that it can be built back up.
Well,
better.
you also need encouraging critics like me to start a petition, which I will be doing to get volume 2 published. So, stay tuned. And look, I want to get permission from Jordan Peterson to read the whole thing. I'm not trying. I just don't want to hurt his book because I don't think anyone's buying this, and I don't want to damage his book sales. So that's why I'm being a little stingy with reading these wonderful poems. Also, I don't want to hurt his image by reading them because they're great, but I won't do them justice. Let's just say that. Moving on.
I so regret telling you this book exists.
It's my favorite book now. Every book. This should be this should be every book should be. This should be in like when you sign up for school. You should get this book and this should be like the Gideon should put this in hotels instead of Bibles.
I could see this maybe functioning as like a very raw base level warning about that these things happen in the world. If it wasn't so gloating and weird about them, if it wasn't so giddy, if it wasn't so giddy about like this book serves no purpose whatsoever.
Agree to disagree.
Look,
we're moving. We'll put a pin in this.
Okay,
we have to get to another. We called this out in the intro.
But one more time, because we did use a couple of clips from it. Like, check out that
Elijah.
Jose video essay about it. It's very fun.
His name's just Jose.
Yeah.
Okay. Jose on YouTube. We have this other story which we alluded to. This is about similar personality to Jordan Peterson. This is about Taylor. Well, it's not about Taylor Swift.
Similar.
I put him in the same category.
Maybe, yeah.
This is an article about a Swiftie. She built a following as Taylor Swift's doppelganger. Then the Swifties came after her. Now, who are the Swifties? Are these the Swift Boat Veterans for Truth?
I think this is a
the John Kerry campaign.
This is a different group.
That's not who the Swifties are. Who are the Swifties?
I mean, some of them might be Swift Boat Veterans for Truth. I guess there could be overlap.
I think there probably is a lot of overlap. So the Swifties are fans of Taylor Swift. Interesting. Okay.
It's specifically the rabid ones, the ones that'll tear your throat out if you so much as say boo about their boo.
Okay.
Taylor
so it's
Swift.
like a Clockwork Orange kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right in the Gulliver. Right. I'll gullet your Tolliver. Something like that. Anyway. So what is read some of this. What's this article about?
She built a following. Okay. Earlier this month, Ashley Leachin, a registered nurse, mom of 2 kids, and TikTok creator known for her uncanny resemblance to Taylor Swift, posted a Change.org petition to her page. Quote, this petition shares me.
By the way, that's where our petition for Jordan Peterson's Volume 2 will be, on change.org. But go on.
This petition is to stop cyberbullying, harassment, and false defamation towards myself, Ashley Leachin, as well as others, she wrote. In the petition, Leachin, who has 1.1 million followers on TikTok, addressed a laundry list of allegations that people have leveled against her on the platform, such as that she voted for Trump. Such as that she voted for Trump. She is a registered Democrat, and she got plastic surgery to look more like Taylor, though she did acknowledge she has gotten Botox and filler. So
basically, she's trying to get a career going as a Taylor Swift lookalike.
Yeah.
And the Swifties are like, nah. They're calling her Ashley Leach. Ashley Leach? Calling her a leech.
That's pretty intense. I mean, a lot of celebrities have lookalikes who do make a career out of being lookalikes.
Look, I would love to have fans who protect my intellectual property the way Swifties do. I mean, this is getting to be a Mad Max kind of world. So what's wrong? I think artists need to have their armies of people. And I think we need people. I mean, a lot of people have come to me because South Park had reference to gun hands in their premiere a couple weeks ago. And a lot of our fans, and I've been a little bit more like the voice of reason going like, look, I don't think they stole from us. But, reading this, I'm like, no. Maybe I should encourage these fans to take the fight to South Park. Not physically, but maybe they should get a petition going to get South Park reprimanded for stealing my idea. Maybe we should send Matt and Trey a gun hand t-shirt.
Maybe. And
it says like, watch your back. No, God, I'm starting to like these Swifties. Did they do anything about Kanye after he attacked her years ago?
Yeah, they jumped all over that.
Yeah.
No, they are a rabid fan base.
I'd love to be swathed in the Swiftie embrace.
I just think they're hurting her here.
Why?
It would be like Elvis fans going after an Elvis impersonator. Like, those people make you more famous.
No, they don't. No. Some fat guy in Reno singing "Don't Look Up" as while he's on pills is not helping the Elvis estate at all.
I think it is.
I
They get royalties off of that if they have a.
don't think. I don't think most, like, I saw guys at like Long Island open mics and coffee shops when I was doing comedy, like doing Elvis impersonating, and I'm pretty sure they weren't, filing their taxes and paying dividends to the Nashville, the Graceland estate.
I hate how you're just groping that book with your fingers as you talk about this, just petting it like it's your little bunny.
It's got a nice finish to it. Feel it. It's a nice tome. You have to admit, this is a lovely tome. So what's going on? Have they heard her, these Swifties?
They have.
The lengthy petition also denies claims that she, quote, stole Taylor Swift's favorite number 13. Her birthday's on the 13th, though not in December, as Swift is. I mean, who wrote this? Is Rolling Stone. This is Hunter Thompson used to write for this fucking outfit, and now this is the article they're writing. Or that she adopted cats that look, quote, exactly the same as Taylor's cats, or that she holds her pen the same particular way. I mean, it's getting a little weird. Why do you hold your pen the way Taylor Swift holds her pen? I mean, are these all fat men? Are these like 50-year-old fat men who are like abusing like a 4-year-old woman? Hey, bitch.
Yeah.
We're Swifties.
That's a good point. I've never actually seen a Swiftie in real life. They were only an internet phenomenon.
Right. You wouldn't want to. They exist in the shadows for a reason. I hold my pen in such a manner that brings comfort, which releases direct pressure off the median nerve, she wrote. I don't think there's any winners in this article.
Yeah.
The petition may have been intended to shut down Leach's haters, who have long accused her of being a pathological liar obsessed with Swift. Instead, as is often the case on the internet, it had the opposite effect. Quote, her name is Ashley Leaching because she's leeching off Taylor's career, wrote one Swiftie on Twitter. In response to the petition. Another wrote, quote, has anybody called her the Swiftie George Santos yet? Topical. It's nice.
You can't say they're not informed. You can't say they're not well read.
No, they're top. They're on top of things. The article ends with I don't look in the mirror and think, holy cow, I look like Taylor. It's just Ashley, she says. and then ... and someone stabbed her. I don't know. Things are getting bad. War with China or this. I don't know. Or Jordan Peterson's book. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of plates.
What would you do if a sensitivity reader tried to get their hands on this book? How would you respond?
I don't want to say, because I could, you can't say threats.
But your response would be full-throated.
It would be clear. No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, no. What would I do? What if I
tried to put a Jane Austen reference in this book?
I feel like I would have to. I would die on this hill. All right. I mean, at a certain point, you have to stop censorship.
Yeah.
And Jordan Peterson's fought for long and hard on similar fronts, I guess. Different fronts.
Different. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't keep this ruse up. I like the book though. The guy's a little kooky.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. If you love the show, as I know you do, consider checking out our Patreon, where you get an extra episode every week for $5 a month. And
we just did a very funny episode where we explore something called the Lucky Girl Syndrome.
Lucky Girl Syndrome is haunting. And people have asked me, like, in weeks where you guys get sick and you're vomiting and you're dying on your deathbed, you still put a Patreon out? We do. So, it's just a perk. You always, every week you get an episode on Patreon. And most weeks here. We try. So, thanks so much. You can do that. And if you don't do that, we'll see you next week. Have a great week.